All right, boys, count your lucky stars. It is a double upload day on the channel because I already had that MASH video ready to go, uploaded for, the usual time in the morning. But then I woke up and I saw this and I was like, do I double upload? Do I push it back? And I was like, you know what? The people need to know about this absolutely bonkers banner. Because the funny thing is that I was just talking to somebody in my Twitch chat the other day. They're like, I'm a new player. When is Jalter going to come back around? And I was like, I'm not really sure. I mean, she gets like a rank up thing in like 2 years and she might go on rate up for that because she just came back on, JP just recently. Bottom line, she's just on rate up right now, right? Like they just slapped her on in there. They were like, yeah, for the Nightingale event, we're going to do a pre-release campaign. Boom, we're going to slap Jalter on in there. And we're going to talk about it in today's video and whether or not this banner is worth going for. And as a simp for Jalter, it's going to be very hard for me to tell people to not summon on this banner because not only is she still really, really good, I mean, she's premium wifey material. Like, let's not cap or anything here. But before we begin and actually just start diving into all the servants that are going to be on the rate up and everything, make sure you leave a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for that sweet daily FGO content. And I mean, even sometimes double uploads. If there's a lot of news, your boy's going to talk about it. But leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I mentioned that I stream. I do that every weekday over on my Twitch, which is linked down in the description down below. I usually go live at 5 p.m. EST, so probably a couple hours after this video goes live, I'll be streaming over on my Twitch. Would love to see you guys out there. But with all that being said, let's talk about these servants. So obviously the headline servant, the big Mac daddy of this banner is Jalter, right? Jalter is still one of the highest damaging units in the entirety of the game. Avenger, so you could bring her to pretty much everything. Pretty much like a generic basic kit. If you're not familiar, I probably will do a video for Jalter just because I really like her that much that I'd be willing to actually do another video for her. I mean, bro, you know that they had your boy's ETL in mind when they give her that 7-hit extra attack, but everything she has is really good. Like this crit damage buff is very good. Sometimes the star weight might not be enough because her natural star weight is really low, and some people might be like 29 doesn't seem that bad. Dude, like MASH has a 99 normal star weight, okay? Like that's to put that in perspective. This is really bad. Like that's really low. So for general purposes, this should be fine. It should get the job done, but sometimes you will notice that your Jalter will pop this skill and she won't take the stars. And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that her natural star weight is literally 29, but still allows her to do very, very solid crit damage. Her charisma is very solid. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the dragon trait herself, despite being the dragon witch. Don't have any idea why they didn't decide to just give her the dragon trait, but still very nice if you're pairing her with like, I don't know, like you're doing a Salter pairing, right? You're like, I want to use both of the altars and do some funny meme setup. Well, then she can give her 40% attack and still 20% to herself. And then she also comes packed with survivability and a very, very strong buster buff. Unfortunately, it's kind of like this weird year one problem that like Jack and Raiko also had and a lot of other servants from that time, where their survivability is tied to their damage mod, or not damage mod, but damage steroid. And so sometimes you'll have to make the decision of, do you want to go for big damage or do you want to save your survivability? And usually it's not that big of a deal. It only comes up in like very niche corner cases, but it is something that you might run into. I still remember when she first came out, people thought this made her a bad servant because she, loses 1,000 damage. And I'm like, hey, dummies, Merlin's coming out in like a couple of months and Merlin literally offsets this by himself. And he's like the basic default buster support. So this is not a big deal for anybody wondering about that. If you're still holding out from year one and coping that Jalter is bad because she deals 1,000 damage to herself. She has the Avenger passives as well. So basically a light gust of wind is going to cause your Jalter to just explode with NP. So she's going to have no problem genning that. And funny enough, I mentioned earlier that she gets a rate up. She actually had one recently, I think earlier this year on the JP version. And around when that comes, she'll be getting her buff. And this thing is pretty nuts. I mean, not only does it just buff the damage scaling of it, but Jalter's like, yeah, and then I just bomb 30 stars for myself. If you're not in the know and you haven't used Jalter as much as like I have or something, Jalter can actually drop a decent bit of stars in a Brave Chain. Not a whole lot. Like, let's not cap. She's only got 6% star gen, but if you get her quick card in there, you can gen a fair bit of stars because her extra attack is so high, unironically. But then when they just dropped this, they were like, nah, Jalter's just gonna bomb 30 stars and then she's gonna become a crit machine, and she just does way more damage. So she's definitely worth summoning for. Like, even if you're not gonna like use her too much now, when she gets her NP upgrade, she just obliterates things. But I'm sure a lot of people have heard that like Jalter cheeses the Zeus fight, the Qi Shi Huang fight. Like, if there's a ruler or a berserker, Jalter's probably gonna cheese them. That's due in large part to this right here, this bad boy right here, where she's able to inflict buff block to somebody. And because a lot of bosses have like these huge all-encompassing buffs, right, that have like numerous different effects, but it still counts as like one major buff, it negates the entire thing, right? And so you could just trivialize a lot of those fights. Now, Jalter's kind of like the Big Mac daddy here. Everyone else, not as much worth going for. I mean, Orion over here isn't bad. I think she gets a little bit too much hate because her kit's not terrible. But I think the problem with Orion is that you look at everything that she's doing and it's like you could get basically the same mileage out of using someone like Yugioh, right? And the thing that I actually kind of prefer about using Yugioh over Orion is that Yugioh has the special damage mod already tied into her NP, right? You don't have to worry about, like, I mean, these effects are nice, but you know, with Orion, you could have this skill down and you don't have the male special damage mod, whereas at least Yurio's is tied to her NP. So every time she fires her NP, you have that damage mod every single time. You can reliably get it. Orion, you know, still fine and everything, but, you know, Yurio's got less team costs, and I don't know. I just prefer to use Yugioh, right, over Orion. You know, Yurio's also got that battery, which is also nice that Orion doesn't have. So not a bad servant to go for if you want to go for her. If you're like me and you're a connoisseur for the white-haired waifus, then maybe throw a summon or two her way. But it's hard for me to recommend it when Yugioh is like the 3-star version and it is like arguably just as good, if not better in certain cases. Then you have Atalanta Alter, who is also not bad. It's just she's a little wonky. I would have preferred if this was just general crit damage. This is like one of the most baffling things that she's ever gotten. I get it. She's got the double buster cards and they want to like even out the damage, but because she's not triple buster, which understandable, she shouldn't be triple buster. She's a quick servant, so she needs the ability to quick chain. But it's like, if we're not doing that, why are we giving her this buff right here? Still good if you want to do buster crits. All of that is still well and good. I just find it very strange. Everything else she does is like still pretty decent, right? Like she still has like the really OP quick buff. Unfortunately, it's only for 1 turn, but again, it is party wide. That's really good. Then she has survivability over here with that general crit damage. It's just, I don't know, I would rather this like further increase her normal crit damage even more, right? So then for 1 turn, she could have 100% crit damage for all of her cards instead of just like 50% normally and then 100% for busters for 1 turn. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like I would have just rather her have had that, right? I think it would have made her a lot better. Especially, I don't know, maybe they're just trying to make her go burst damage because everything on there is 1 turn. But her NP is also good. It has a little bit of utility in the fact that she can seal enemy NPs. Curse, you know, if you're pairing her with Van Gogh or Doman, who are also both quick servants that also do little curse stuff, you know, you can have some fun doing that. She's not bad. If you pick her up as a consolation prize, she's fun to use. She's not the most crazy servant in the world, but she's fun. And then Robin Hood, I mean, do I really need to talk about Robin Hood? He's a 3-star. Like, everybody should pretty much get this guy for free. Like, if you don't already have Robin Hood, you should definitely, I guess, pick him up from this banner. Robin Hood's not bad. He's kind of like Paris in a way, where they both have like this little gimmick where they stick something on the opponent and they do big boy damage. With Robin Hood, it's poison. So the good thing about Robin Hood, unlike someone like Paris, is that Paris, it has to be that weak spot detected debuff that Paris gives to the opponent, so that's something that only he can do. Whereas at least Robin Hood, if they're just poisoned in general, he gets his damage mod. So I don't know if you want to pair him with just literally anybody else that does a poison debuff, or if you want to give him like a command code that does poison debuffs, or you want to give that 20-year support so they can do that as well. You can at least combo him with other people. It makes him pretty nice, but I don't think I need to actually like talk about Robin Hood. Maybe he'll get a video because I'm kind of on I don't know, this idea that I really want to do a lot of like 3-star videos on like lower servants, right? Like maybe doing like a low-star legend type series or something, unless someone's already stolen that title. I don't know, leave working titles in the comments down below. I'm open to video title suggestions. But yeah, it is the Jalter rate up basically. If you want Jalter, she's definitely worth summoning for. I probably will go ahead and do a video for her. We'll probably cover Orion, Atalanta, Alter, and Robin Hood. I'll probably get around to covering all of them because unless JP just drops something absolutely bonkers tonight, like unless they're like, and here we have the new 5-star coming out of NPC jail, this guy, then unless it's something like that, I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I mean, they revealed that Yugioh is getting a costume, which is really cute. Kind of makes her look like a Rin face, but aside from that, I don't think there's going to be anything major, but who knows? It's like part 2 of the event. Here comes this crazy new servant coming out of NPC jail. I doubt it. There's only 7 days left in the event, but who knows? You know, I'm open to being wrong that there's not going to be anything crazy dropping, but, you know, hey, I'm down because JP's been kind of dry, so let's drop something over there, Lasengle, or more than likely it'll probably just be like this and be another banner. But let me know if you guys are going to be summoning for Jalter down in the comments down below. Let me know if you're actually going to be going for Orion and Atalanta Alter as well. I don't know how many people are actually going to be going for these two, but I think that's more interesting because everybody's going to go for Jalter, right? I might go for NP2 Jalter, right? Because eventually I want to have my girl NP5, right? I got to do that at some point. So maybe on stream today we'll work towards getting her to NP 2 at the very least, but we'll see. I don't know. With all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice day, and I will see you guys tomorrow with either another singular upload, maybe a double upload. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see what JP does. But yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace. Late, guys.